My name's Daniel Baird. In Capoeira you get given an apelido, which is a nickname. Mine is Instructor Ken.
Capoeira is a game that is comprised of lots of different Afro-Brazilian forms of expression, and it's all of those things. It's a holistic culture which is comprised of dance, music, fight, acrobatics, history, culture. So different types of rodas that you can have. Roda is the circle, it's the space where capoeira is held. Like, that is capoeira. That is what actually capoeira is. Without the roda, you haven't got capoeira. Without the music, you haven't got capoeira. If you've just got the movements, okay, you've got capoeira movements, but that's not capoeira. Capoeira is when you have the whole roda with the bateria, everybody singing and clapping, and the two players in the middle playing. That is capoeira. To define it is to kind of entrap it, really, because there's always this question: is it a fight? Is it a dance? And it's not really a question that's worth answering, because capoeira is capoeira.
Sou lamento, sou negro, sou sofredor.
I'm a capoeira instructor here at the International Slavery Museum in Liverpool. I don't know, there's something that just excites me about it. The challenge of it, it's never easy, no matter what level you get to. It's always a challenge. There's always something that I'm learning, whether I'm taking class myself or whether I'm teaching or playing. You know, you're always learning something. You're teaching them to underestimate anyone, which I think is a really good thing. And what I like about it is it builds cohesive groups of people, and that, you know, you have this bunch of people who come every week or every lesson and they train, and you know, they sweat out whatever stresses and tensions they have in life, and they come together and they do that in a way that, without talking, and in a way that is challenging for all of them. There's challenges there for everybody. The origins of capoeira go back to Africa, especially Angola in southern Africa, and the Bantu tribes there. When the Portuguese started enslaving African people and taking them to Brazil to work in the plantations there, especially sugar plantations. It was people from all over Africa, so they came from different tribes with different languages and different cultures, and it was in this really oppressive environment of slavery in Brazil, working on the sugar plantations, and later in other things such as mining and in coffee, as well as working in cities as well, but predominantly in a rural kind of agricultural way.
It has changed slightly, and I can, you know, not necessarily all Brazilians or teachers of capoeira, certainly not Brazilians, but capoeiristas anyway, are necessarily happy with where it's gone, but you know, everything always changes and evolves. you know, I mean, I was only 18 when I discovered Capoeira, so before that I was just growing up really, and you know, and I knew I liked dancing, and I've been into a bit of hip hop and breaking for about 3 years, but I hadn't had a teacher, so just been making it up, just been me and my mates throwing ourselves on the ground and getting up in what we thought was some kind of rhythmic style. Often it wasn't, but because Capoeira has some similarities in terms of the movements, you know, some similarities, basic similarities, it grabbed my attention, and also because it, you know, there was somebody actually teaching it. I was like, I can get taught how to do this, whereas with breaking and stuff, like I said, there's nobody around to teach us, so we're just making it up. So I've been working as a professional contemporary dancer, freelance, for 10 years now, over 10 years. I really enjoy that diversity and having a different challenge every time. I do a lot of training, but that, you know, is kind of like my work, but it's also my spare time. You know, I'm not exactly getting paid directly for that, but if I don't do that, then my work suffers. So it's part and parcel of being a professional mover or athlete or dancer or whatever you want to call it. As I said, you know, it's like I've been doing this 10 years now, and you get used to the waxing and waning of work patterns, and you know, especially there are times here when there isn't much work, and that's a given. You know, that's every year, especially kind of early in the new year. January, February is always terrible for work, and then summer in terms of like classes, because not many people around, they've gone away on holiday and stuff, is less for classes usually, in one sense, but then there's always a bunch of people who are like, oh, it's summer, let's go and train as well. So there's always stressful parts. Try not to stress about things, but I just deal with them, and that's certainly something that Capoeira has taught me as well, is just deal with it. In my spare time, like body conditioning, I also practice something called Qigong, which is a meditative practice, attention to music, this kind of thing, socialising, eating. I love cooking, so I do cook quite a lot. Have friends over and stuff like this. It's always a shame, just a small thing for yourself, so I like cooking big pots of food.
What my short-term plans are for the future with Capoeira, I'm heading off to Brazil quite soon, in about 3 weeks, to go and visit my master, Mestre Gimba, who's the director of our group. Hopefully, one thing I'd like to do is, trying to get it together at the minute, is get a whole bunch of old football shirts, like British football shirts, over to give to the kids over there, because just as a gesture really more than anything, to say that there are other people on the other side of the world who, you know, are part of the same group as you. And we can give you something. We can't give you much, but we can give you something. And so the other things I want to do with group, whilst I'm there, you know, soak up some more of Capoeira in Brazil. But then when I'm back is to build the group up more, more work with schools, more work with youth clubs, and kind of social and cultural organisations like that.